Hello and welcome back to Studio Session. I'm Catherine and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. We are back after a week-long hiatus. We had February break, so we could not record, but we're back. And yeah, let's jump into today's report. So for reading, I have a really bad habit of just starting books when I'm already in the middle of other ones. I just started The Paris Apartment, and it's by an author that I've previously read a book from, and I loved it, so I decided to pick up this one. It's like a mystery book, and it's really good so far. For eating, I recently rediscovered wraps. Just you can put anything in them. I love chicken Caesar wraps. They're just so great for any meal. For playing, the song "End of Beginning" it's by Joe Curie from Stranger Things. He has an artist name. It's DJO. I don't know if it's pronounced Joe. I don't know, but it's trending on TikTok, and I just think it's the perfect transition into spring and summer song. I don't know if it's new. I just know it's newly trending, but I really like it. For obsessing, I just have been really wanting warmer weather, so I love anything floral, anything kind of spring vibe. For recommending, I recommend that you go through your music playlists and clear them out. This is something I really have to do because I have one collective playlist that has a bunch of songs I like, but when I put it on shuffle, there are some songs that I have not listened to in years and just should not be in the playlist, so definitely go and clear those out. And for treating, yesterday I didn't skip school, I had a valid reason, but I took yesterday off of school to go visit Fairfield University, which is one of the schools I'm considering going to. They had a little tour day visit, so that was really nice to kind of get out of town and go see. That's it for today's report, and let's jump into our main segment. I'm joined with Lucas for our main segment, and today's album review is the album Blonde by Frank Ocean. This is a pop album that was released in 2016, so kind of the end of 2010s, but still 2010s pop. So yeah, this was an album I feel the album cover is iconic. I see it everywhere, but I had never actually listened to a majority of the songs in the album, so I was really interested to see what this one was all about. Okay, so my favorite song on the album, this really shouldn't come as a shock. It's one of the most basic ones on the album. I chose Pink and White. Maybe it's just because I was already familiar with it, so I knew what I was getting myself into. But this is just a great song. It has gorgeous instrumentals, kind of a chill, calmer vibe. Just a beautiful song. It has a simple but effective beat. I just really liked it. So Pink and White was my number one.
My number one, I selected Solo. I have heard a couple of these tracks before listening to the album in full. This was one of them, and definitely a top-class track. The vocals were pretty tantalizing on this one. I thought they really added to a great instrumental, and the refrain was really good. I really liked how passionate it was. So I'm going to say that Solo is my most favorite from this album.
Okay, my second favorite on this album, again, kind of a basic pick, but I chose Ivy. I was again familiar with this one. It has a peaceful tune, relatable lyrics, and the ending was really unique. There's kind of screaming, which usually I feel I wouldn't be a fan of, but I think it just kind of works. I don't know, I just really liked Ivy, so that was my second favorite. I'd also like to give a shout out to Godspeed. That was my third favorite.
I also said that Ivy was my second favorite. I just really like how there's a good storytelling aspect as there is with many Frank Ocean songs. I really like the part where he's we'll never be those kids again. I thought that was a pretty deep bar, even though it was so simple. And Ivy is definitely one of the best tracks on this album.
For my least favorite, well, there are two songs that I just kind of thought I wouldn't include. That's Be Yourself and Facebook Story, because they're not really songs. It's just kind of talking. So I didn't really love those, but if we are not including either of those two, my least favorite is the opening track, Nikes. Why is the first half just not his voice? I don't know if this is a stylistic choice, but it's I don't know if it's him just high-pitched or if it's someone else entirely. I just was not a fan of that. I did not like it as an opener. Even if this wasn't objectively the worst song, I just had so many things I didn't like about it. It just was my least favorite. I don't know why Apple Music marked this as one of the most popular songs. Is it actually? Because who is enjoying this? I did not like this song at all. So Nikes was my least favorite.
So yeah, on that same topic, I had there's 5 songs I think I had written down that are interludes or skits or whatever. I wasn't a fan of Be Yourself, but I had to give my least favorite to Good Guy. I just felt the lyrics were just kind of slightly off rhythm, and they were pretty few in quantity. The piano was good, but the song was only like a minute long. I feel like he could have worked this into like a good longer track. And it kind of kicks off. There's pretty much 4 skits in 6 tracks, which I'm not a big fan of, especially back to back, like Facebook story. So yeah, so I'm gonna say Good Guy is my least favorite.
So for my underrated pick, I actually chose Good Guy, and kind of for the reason that Lucas said. This is like a shorter song, but I like the tune, and it almost sounds like it should be like part of a longer song. So I gave it underrated because I think if it were part of a longer song, it would be like probably one of my favorites on the album, to be honest. It just wasn't really like complete, but I did like the kind of concept and idea. So I gave Good Guy my underrated. Yeah, I just wish we kind of got more of it.
I also gave my underrated pick to one of these smaller tracks, and I gave it to Solo Reprise. Just hidden feature here by Andre 3000, and I feel like the chemistry is there between these two artists. Definitely two great creative minds, and you can see it on this track with the production and Andre's verse. I definitely appreciate Solo Reprise as much as I do Solo.
I was not a fan of Solo Reprise. I don't know. It was one of the ones I was considering giving my least favorite, honestly. It was just kind of too much all at once, a little too chaotic for me. But my overall album rating, I gave it a 4 out of 10. I just did not really vibe with this album. I don't know. I wanted to like it. A lot of the songs were like really pretty. They had nice tunes. It wasn't for me. I don't know. There were a few redeeming songs that I really liked that kind of bumped up this a couple points. Without them, I probably would have given it only like a 2. Sorry, I don't know, that's a little harsh. It just really wasn't for me. There were some interesting things. I noticed I usually am not really one to look at like writing credits, but I happen to have the lyrics of White Ferrari pulled up. So I saw the writing credits at the end, and this had some insane writing credits. Kanye West, and then John Lennon and Paul McCartney, and I looked it up, and I guess it's because it samples a Beatles song. I just thought that was really interesting. So there were definitely some cool parts of this album. Just as a whole, I was not a fan. Yeah, sorry, Frank Ocean.
I am not one to be a rating stickler, but I feel like that's a fair rating. I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I feel like while it's not the best, there are some tracks you just can't really overlook that have had incredible mainstream success, but they're kind of few and far between. And with a lot of skits, I feel like there's a lot of material that can be cut from this album that would positively impact the overall rating. Definitely, it's still a good album, but I'm not sure if I'd sit down and listen to it all again.
I definitely agree. And just something I forgot to mention, like the last track, I just did not like it as an ending because like the whole like last 5 minutes of the song, it's like a long song, and the whole last couple minutes are just like a conversation. I just thought it was a weird way to end an album. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. But yeah, that was it for our main segment, and let's jump into our game. Okay, so for our next segment today, we are back with another song association, but today we actually have a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yo, it's JT.
So we played song association in the past. Basically, one of us is going to say a word, and the other two are going to say the first song that we think of when we hear that word. It could either be in the title, in the lyrics, or just kind of what we think of when we hear that word. Okay, guys, my first word is talk.
Oh, the Khalid one. Or how do you say his name? Can we just talk? That one. Right.
Yeah. All right. Good pick. Just because it's stuck in my head, I'm going with "Talking" by Kanye, but more specifically, his daughter is the lead vocalist on this track. Shout out. I think it's Northwest. She's 10 years old and she's already dominating the music industry. All right. My first word is fancy.
I thought of Fancy by Iggy Azalea. I'm so fancy. That one. Oh, I actually don't know if it's by her. It might be by another artist, but she's definitely on it. That's what I thought of.
Yeah, I got nothing for that one.
Okay, my next word is smooth.
Smooth Criminal. Michael Jackson, baby. Yes, sir.
That was also what I thought of when I heard smooth. All right. My next word is life.
I thought of the song Good Life by One Republic, and I think it's just because I saw a TikTok on this, because I guess Kanye West also has a song called Good Life, and there was this whole like debate of like what song you think of when you think of the song Good Life. Do you think of the One Republic or the Kanye West one? I do not know the Kanye West one, but I do know the One Republic one, so that is what I'm going with.
Nah, I got nothing. Wait, does it need to be a song name, or can I just have the word in the song?
No, like, what do you think of when you hear the word life?
Oh, "You Rock My World" by Michael Jackson. It goes like, "My life will never be the same." Okay, we got it.
All right, my next word is money.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the namesake, and I'm gonna say "Money" by Pink Floyd.
I don't know if that's the same. You got that money, money, money.
That is definitely not money by Pink Floyd.
But that one, I don't know who sings it though. Cause you know.
Oh, no. I know what song you're talking about. I'm not quite sure what it's called. Okay. My next word is sky.
I love that name.
I immediately thought of What a Wonderful World. Like, I see skies of blue. That one. That is my pick.
I don't got nothing for this one. That's a tough name.
Yes,
though.
this one's a little tough.
It's tough.
Okay, next I have tree.
Okay, I'm not quite sure. I'm just gonna go with my instinct and say the first one that came to my head, which was Free Fallin' by Tom Petty.
I said tree.
I know.
Oh, I thought you said. Okay.
Okay, JT does not have an answer. All right, my fourth word is retro.
Retro. I can't think of any songs that like actually say the word retro. I mean, I probably can. I just can't right now. Retro. I don't know. I guess I think of like songs that are like a retro vibe, like a disco vibe. I don't know. I'll go with Staying Alive. That's retro kind of.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay, my last word today is work.
I feel like I'm just gonna hammer the obvious answer here and go with "Work" by Rihanna. This track came out actually, I believe, like a certain amount of years ago to the day, one of these past few days. So shout out Rihanna. Hopefully that album comes soon.
Work, 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 work. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, Rihanna.
Okay, this was definitely another fun game of song association and one that we will definitely continue playing on these episodes. So that was it for this segment, and let's jump into our final one. Okay, for our final segment today, we have what to expect next. So we have one more album for our early 2000s pop, or 2010s pop, sorry, kind of month, and we're going to be ending it with Believe by Justin Bieber. We're going to record it on the last day of February because there is a leap year this year, so February 29th is when this will be recorded, so we are still counting that as February, even though you will hear it on March 1st. Lucas has a little album recap.
Okay, yeah. So this past February break gave me the time to listen to a bunch of good new albums and some that I haven't listened to as well. And one of those was Loss of Life by MGMT. I definitely mentioned this before on the pod. I was looking forward to this. And honestly, it did not disappoint. I feel like a big criticism of MGMT is they have never gotten back to that state they were in with Oracular Spectacular that we reviewed. And it feels like they'll never have those radio bangers again as like Kids and Time to Pretend. And even like Little Dark Age was big on social media. But this album was, in its completeness, I feel like the second best project they've made. It had a more somber vibe, definitely just an abundance of morbidity. I don't know if that's a real word, but it was a little grim, and yet I still found it to be incredible. I really like the tracks Dancing in Babylon, Bubblegum Dog, and Loss of Life, and I just felt like overall, 45 minutes, it's a comprehensible album, and I would highly recommend that you go listen to it.
Thank you so much for listening today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.